Have you ever noticed how some people seem to glide through life as if the universe is conspiring in their favor? Things just fall into place for them. The right opportunities, unexpected breakthroughs, even those once-in-a-lifetime connections. But when you try to do the same, it feels like pushing against a wall that never moves. Here's the truth: they're not lucky. They've just tapped into a way of being most people overlook. A silent power that works quietly behind the scenes, reshaping reality. It's not loud. It's not flashy. But it works like magic, and the irony? You can't tell anyone you're doing it, because they'll think you're crazy until they see the results. Let's get one thing straight. Intention isn't just saying, "I want a new job," or "I want to find love." That's a wish, not an intention. True intention is clarity. It's that inner stillness you reach when all the noise fades, the overthinking, the pressure, the opinions of others, and what's left is raw, honest desire. It's not scattered or conditional. It's focused, undeniable. Real intention doesn't come from desperation. It doesn't beg. It doesn't bargain. It simply knows. Sometimes it's not even a sentence. It's not, "I want a better life," but rather an image, a symbol, a subtle yet powerful feeling. It might be a moment you replay in your mind, waking up with peace, walking confidently through a space that feels like home, holding hands with someone who sees you. That's intention, not because you said it, but because you felt it, without needing to explain it. That's where the power begins. When you ask yourself, what would it feel like to be there already? To fully live that life, embody that version of you, your brain starts organizing around that vision. Specifically, your frontal lobe, the creative command center of your brain, lights up. It begins sorting through your inner database, memories, observations, knowledge, experiences. Not to replay the past, but to build something new. It assembles a blueprint, a mental prototype, something solid enough for your subconscious to begin relating to as real. That inner vision, that felt image, that is your intention. Here's the truth. Most people mistake controlling for creating. They say they have intentions, but they're just anxiously micromanaging. But because their mental and emotional bandwidth is hijacked by survival mode. When you're stressed, your system is reactive. You're not imagining possibility, you're calculating risk. You're not in creative flow, you're in fight, flight, or freeze. So what shows up isn't intention. It's conditional thinking. I want this job, but only if it pays exactly this. I want to meet someone, but they better look like this, act like that, and never do this. That's not vision, that's fear with a checklist. Real intention can't exist in that state. When your body is flooded with survival hormones, it doesn't care about your dreams. It just wants safety. And in that space, your thoughts don't expand, they loop. Your energy doesn't flow forward, it circles the past. You're not manifesting. You're managing your limits. But here's the shift. When you calm the noise, even for a few seconds, and dare to think beyond what's realistic, that's when intention becomes accessible. That's when you rise above the storm and access the part of you that remembers what's possible. This is where things get interesting. When you ask questions that pull you out of limitation, questions like, what would it feel like to truly be free? Or, what would life look like if I fully trusted myself? You trigger a different part of your brain. Instead of scanning for danger, your mind starts to scan for possibilities. It pulls together fragments from books you've read, conversations you've had, moments you've witnessed. And then, like an artist sketching something from imagination, it starts to piece together something new. A vision that's not bound by what's already happened. Your neurons begin firing in new ways. You start breaking free from old wiring, the limiting beliefs, the inherited patterns, and begin laying new pathways. Your brain isn't just daydreaming, it's mapping a new experience. And the more you revisit that map, without rushing, doubting, or forcing, the more vivid it becomes. The more real it feels. That's not just visualization, it's preparation. It's mental rehearsal for a life your body hasn't lived yet but is beginning to recognize. Now here's the most overlooked piece. Thought alone won't shift your reality. You can build the clearest inner picture, but if there's no emotion behind it, it stays on the shelf. Passive. Emotion is what activates the signal. It's what breathes life into the image. It's the fuel. When you feel love, joy, peace, or empowerment as if it were happening now, your body doesn't wait for evidence. It responds immediately. Because to the body, which operates mostly on feeling, there's no meaningful difference between reality and deeply felt imagination. This is why intention isn't just a mental process. It's emotional embodiment. When you feel the feeling before it arrives, you collapse the distance between now and then. You start living as if it's already true, not pretending but aligning. This is not just a feel-good concept. It's backed by biology. Your internal chemistry starts to shift. Your heart rate changes. Your immune system strengthens. Hormones balance. Your nervous system steadies. You're no longer reacting to the past. You're rehearsing the future. And over time, your outer world begins to reflect that inner reality, not because you forced it to, but because you became it. This is where most people get it completely backward. They wait. I'll feel empowered once I get the job. I'll feel whole once I'm healed. I'll feel loved when the right person finally comes. I'll feel confident when everything falls into place. But here's the truth. That's the wrong order. Waiting to feel the emotion after the outcome is like sitting in front of a cold fireplace saying, "Give me heat, and then I'll put in the wood." It doesn't work like that. In the realm of transformation, you don't get love and then become loving. You become loving and love finds you. You don't stumble into success and then finally feel worthy. You feel worthy first, and success has a place to land. You don't sit in fear and doubt and magically arrive at peace. You embody peace, even when there's no visible reason to, and suddenly the world begins to mirror that frequency back to you. This is the paradox. It's the magic key that most people overlook. When you wait for the external to change the internal, you're living in reaction. You're letting your circumstances dictate your chemistry, your mood, your belief in what's possible. And that means your power is always somewhere else. In someone else's hands. At the mercy of timing, luck, or permission. But here's what few people are ever taught. You don't wait for the effect. You cause it. You become the version of you who already has what you desire. You align your inner world, your thoughts, your feelings, your energy, with the experience you haven't yet had. Not to trick the universe. Not to pretend. But because your future begins inside of you, not outside. And when your inner reality changes, your outer world eventually has to catch up. It's not wishful thinking. It's coherence. It's alignment. Let's zoom in further. Every time you mentally rehearse the version of your life you desire, that new job, that healthy body, that deeply connected relationship, you are literally reshaping the structure of your brain. Yes, literally. Here's what's happening. Your brain doesn't just passively store memories. It actively responds to imagination, especially when it's paired with emotion. When you close your eyes and vividly see yourself walking confidently into that meeting, or waking up energized and pain-free, or laughing deeply with someone who feels like home, your brain begins wiring new connections as if it were actually happening. This process is known as neuroplasticity, your brain's ability to rewire itself based on thought, repetition, and emotional intensity. Most people use this power unconsciously to replay the past. The painful breakup, the rejection, the mistake. They loop it, rehearse it, relive it, and their body follows. But you can reverse it. You can train your nervous system to expect a different outcome by mentally rehearsing that new version of you until it feels familiar, until it feels real. Not someday, but. And when it feels real on the inside, you stop needing it to be proven on the outside. That's when transformation begins to accelerate. Most people wake up and run the same program every single day. Same thoughts, same emotional loops, same conversations, same routines. Their brain becomes a record of the past instead of a map to the future. And yet they wonder why they feel stuck. Why nothing new seems to happen. Why everything feels like a repeat. But when you intentionally rehearse a new possibility, every single day, you begin to interrupt the autopilot. You begin laying down new neural pathways that support a new self, not the old one. This isn't just visualization. It's construction. You're literally building the future inside your mind before it arrives. And the more consistently you do it, the more natural it becomes. Let's make this even more practical. You want a new reality? Good. Here's what most people miss. You can't bring the old version of you into the future you're asking for. Your personality, meaning how you think, how you feel, and how you act, is what generates your personal reality. So if nothing's changing around you, it's time to look within. Ask yourself, am I still thinking like someone who doesn't believe they're enough? Am I still feeling like a victim of my past instead of a creator of my future? Am I still acting out of fear, hesitation, or unworthiness? Because if so, the external shift you're waiting for has no foundation to land on. You can't manifest abundance while embodying scarcity. You can't attract love while radiating insecurity. You can't invite peace while reacting in chaos. And this isn't about shame or judgment. It's about awareness. Because once you see it clearly, you can change it. So what does it actually look like to embody your future self now? It means tuning into the frequency of who you're becoming before there's proof. It means walking like someone who trusts themselves, speaking like someone who believes their words matter, choosing like someone who knows their future is already unfolding. You begin dressing for the role you haven't been cast in yet. You rehearse confidence until it no longer feels like a costume. It is you. You make peace with the fact that you're not waiting on permission. You're not waiting on signs. You are the sign. And that's not faking it. That's choosing, consciously and consistently, to become the you who lives the life you want, until it's no longer effort. It's your nature. Here's where the shift becomes sustainable. Everything changes when you align your inner environment, your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, with the reality you're creating. Not the one you're escaping, the one you're choosing. It starts by becoming radically honest about your state of being. Who are you being when no one's watching? What are you entertaining in your mind when things go quiet? How do you respond when nothing seems to be working? These are the defining moments. Most people drift through their day in unconscious reaction mode, triggered by delays, thrown off by criticism, hijacked by doubt. They lose their alignment at the first sign of resistance. But when you commit to present tense alignment, something powerful happens. You start choosing your response instead of surrendering to reflex. You stop leaking energy into fear, anger, or impatience. You remember who you're becoming, and you anchor into that version. Even when it's hard. Especially when it's hard. Because that's where the recalibration happens. That's where the identity shift becomes embodied, not just in quiet meditations, but in uncomfortable conversations, disappointing outcomes, and unexpected delays. You stop living by emotional default and start living by conscious design. Here's the beautiful part of all of this. When you feel the emotion of your desired future now, love, empowerment, peace, joy, you are not just imagining. You are signaling. You're telling your body, your subconscious, and the field around you, this is who I am now. And when you hold that frequency long enough, not perfectly, but consistently, the world around you begins to shift. You'll start meeting people who reflect the energy you've been cultivating. Opportunities will align with the identity you've claimed. Your habits, choices, and relationships will begin to match the version of you that you're rehearsing daily. Not because you forced them, because you became the person who naturally attracts them. Let's ground this into real life. Here are ways to live this truth every single day. Before reaching for your phone or reacting to the world, rehearse the day from the perspective of your future self. How would they move through this day? What would they say yes to? What energy would they radiate? And then feel that version of you. Sit in it. Let your body memorize it. Instead of seeing challenges as setbacks, use them as chances to anchor deeper. When you feel triggered, pause. Ask, is this reaction aligned with who I'm becoming? If not, recalibrate. Choose a new response. This is how change becomes real. Don't just visualize outcomes, feel them. Set a timer for 5 minutes and drop into the emotion of what you desire, as if it's already true. Not by thinking harder, but by softening into it. Your body will begin to wire to this new emotional baseline. Each night, reflect. Did I think like my future self today? Did I feel emotions that aligned with the version of me I'm stepping into? Did I act from my old patterns, Or did I choose something new? This keeps you accountable, not to perfection, but to presence. In the quiet moments before the world awakens, there lies a profound opportunity, a sacred space where transformation begins. This isn't about checking off tasks or adhering to a rigid schedule. It's about cultivating a practice that aligns your inner world with the life you aspire to lead. Each morning, before the demands of the day take hold, dedicate time to connect with yourself, not out of obligation, but from a place of devotion. This practice is an act of self-respect, a commitment to your growth and well-being. Begin by asking yourself, what is the greatest expression of myself I can be today? This question isn't about setting goals or outlining tasks. It's an invitation to embody the qualities of your highest self. Whether it's compassion, courage, creativity, or clarity, identify the essence you wish to bring forth. Close your eyes and envision the version of yourself who fully embodies these qualities. Feel the emotions associated with this state: confidence, generosity, inspiration, abundance. Allow these feelings to permeate your being. Don't rush this process. Remain in this space until you genuinely feel the shift within. As you rise from this meditative state, carry this energy into your day. Regardless of external circumstances, maintain this alignment. By doing so, you're not merely reacting to the world, you're actively shaping it. Over time, this consistent practice influences your reality, aligning it with the vision you've cultivated internally. When you live in alignment with your highest self, changes occur, not just within you, but in how others perceive you. You may find that you no longer need to seek validation or chase opportunities. Instead, people are drawn to your presence, sensing a shift they might not be able to articulate. Your energy communicates authenticity and purpose, often before any words are spoken. This transformation isn't about coincidence, it's about coherence. When your thoughts, emotions, and actions are in harmony, you become a magnet for experiences that reflect this state. You're no longer striving to become someone else. You're embodying the version of yourself that already exists within. Gratitude journaling. Begin by listing things you're grateful for. This practice shifts your focus to abundance and primes your mind for positivity. Visualization. Spend time visualizing your goals as already achieved. Feel the emotions associated with this success, reinforcing the belief that it's attainable. Mindful movement. Engage in gentle exercises like stretching or yoga to connect with your body and ground your energy. Affirmations. Repeat positive statements that reinforce your desired state of being. This helps rewire your subconscious mind to support your intentions. The power of this ritual lies in its consistency. By dedicating time each morning to align with your highest self, you create a foundation for intentional living. Over time, this practice becomes second nature, and the gap between who you are and who you aspire to be diminishes. In a world saturated with noise and constant self-promotion, there's an understated power in quiet transformation. This practice isn't about grand declarations or seeking validation. It's about subtle shifts that speak volumes. Transformation often begins in silence. It's the quiet commitment to change, the internal decision to evolve without fanfare. This journey is personal, intimate, and doesn't require external acknowledgement. Consider the analogy of a seed germinating underground. There's no visible sign of growth initially, but beneath the surface, profound changes are occurring. Similarly, your internal shifts may not be immediately apparent to others, but over time, they manifest in tangible ways. Instead of announcing your intentions, let your actions and demeanor reflect your transformation. Your increased patience, resilience, and positivity become the indicators of your inner work. For instance, you might find yourself responding to stressful situations with calmness that surprises even you. Colleagues may notice your enhanced focus and creativity. Friends might comment on your newfound optimism. These observations are the natural outcomes of your internal alignment. Neuroscientific research supports the idea that our thoughts and emotions can influence our reality. Engaging in practices like visualization and affirmations can activate neural pathways associated with goal achievement. This process, known as neuroplasticity, allows the brain to adapt and reorganize itself, reinforcing new habits and behaviors. By consistently focusing on your desired outcomes and embodying the emotions associated with them, you train your brain to recognize and seize opportunities aligned with your goals. When you align your thoughts, emotions, and actions with your aspirations, you become a living testament to what's possible. You no longer seek external signs or validation. Instead, you embody the change you wish to see. This embodiment influences your environment. People are drawn to your authenticity and confidence. Opportunities arise organically, not because you're chasing them, but because you're prepared to receive them. True empowerment comes from mastering your internal state. By focusing on your mindset, beliefs, and emotional responses, you gain control over how you experience the world. This internal mastery reduces reactivity and enhances your ability to navigate challenges with grace. Practices such as mindfulness, journaling, and meditation can support this internal work. They provide tools to observe your thoughts, release limiting beliefs, and cultivate a sense of inner peace. Your personal transformation doesn't occur in isolation. As you evolve, you influence those around you. Your behavior sets a precedent, inspiring others to embark on their own journeys of self-improvement. This ripple effect can lead to more harmonious relationships, collaborative work environments, and communities grounded in mutual respect and growth. Transformation is an ongoing process, not a destination. It's about continual growth, learning, and adaptation. By embracing this journey, you remain open to new experiences and insights, further enriching your life. Remember, the most profound changes often occur beneath the surface, unnoticed by the world but deeply felt within. Trust in the process, and let your life be the silent testament to your evolution. There's a natural rhythm to the universe, a flow that becomes accessible when you align your internal state with your desired reality. By living intentionally and emotionally connected to your future self, you synchronize with this rhythm. In this state, you no longer wait for signs or external validation. You become the sign, the embodiment of the change you seek. Life begins to organize itself around your energy, presenting opportunities and experiences that mirror your internal alignment. This shift marks the transition from being a passive observer of life to an active participant in its creation. You move from reacting to circumstances to shaping them, from being a victim of circumstance to the architect of your reality. Morning reflection. Start your day with a few minutes of quiet reflection. Visualize your future self and embody the emotions associated with that version of you. Mindful presence. Throughout the day, maintain awareness of your thoughts and emotions. When faced with challenges, respond from the perspective of your future self. Gratitude practice. Each evening, reflect on moments where you aligned with your desired self. Express gratitude for these instances, reinforcing the behavior. Continuous learning. Engage with resources that support your growth. This could include books, podcasts, or workshops focused on personal development. Community engagement. Surround yourself with individuals who support and inspire your journey. Engaging with a like-minded community can provide encouragement and accountability. As you continue this practice, others will notice the changes in you. They may comment on your calm demeanor, your positivity, or the opportunities that seem to come your way effortlessly. When asked about your transformation, there's no need for elaborate explanations. A simple smile suffices. Because the essence of this journey isn't something that can be fully articulated, it's something that must be experienced. In embracing this path, you become a beacon of what's possible, inspiring others through your example.